Good morning. Welcome to Flat Earth Early Bird number 1630. I'm your host Arwin, and before I start the show, please don't forget to share it on any platform you deem fit, and if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel and hit the bell notification so you know when I'm going live, which is normally 1 p.m. Amsterdam time in the weekdays and 2 p.m. Amsterdam time in the weekend. And please also do support me through the PayPal and the Patreon. That would be much appreciated, and you can always use the support really. So yeah, but I'm doing okay now. Anyway, right, yeah, the weather today is like pristine sunny, zero cloud. Oh wait, no, not entirely zero. Just a little bit over there. But it's mostly very blue. And there's a lot of wind. And I mean a lot of wind. Like, it's either a bit of wind or like these huge gusts. One actually caused a window in this house, in this apartment to smash to bits. So I've been cleaning up glass because of that this morning. Because the wind just was so hard, went so hard through the house that it literally just smashed the door. Crazy stuff. But, oh well, that's cleaned up. The landlord said he was gonna fix it, so it was already broken. Now it just shattered into a million pieces. That's the difference. Anyway, the plants are doing good, but I continually have to put them back upright because with that wind they just fall over. Because sometimes, like, it's like a wind rush. The wind becomes so hard that you can like almost see it in such a moment. Like really, really hard. Rips through things. And yeah, birds are not so much frolicking about, but it's probably just because of the wind. It's just so much wind that they get ping-ponged all over the place. But anyway, they are enjoying the water. Right. So yeah, it's all good out there. Hello Oz, first in chat. You were quick. And Richard G, good to see you. It is Tuesday, the 13th of June 2023. Temperature is 28 degrees Celsius. And yeah, the wind is strong, 24 kilometers an hour. According to this. I don't know. Maybe it's just like an average out because the wind gusts are really heavy. I mean, that's like storm heavy. Which is very surprising for such a clear day to have that. Right. No precipitation. There's no rain. There hasn't been any rain for a long time. I mean, there's a forecast that it might rain just a little at the end of the week or something. Woohoo. But yeah, it's been kind of dry so far, but with still enough moist in the air to not make it into a drought. Anyway, how are you guys doing? I got some gusto. Ah, nice and cold. Some rucola. Oh crap. Salad bowl. Right, the basil, by the way, is starting to bloom. So I think I'm just gonna kind of leave the old basil to bloom because it's like It's too old. It just got to that state. The other one, however, is like really popping, and I think I'm probably gonna use that for making spaghetti somewhere soon. Whew. That's great. Is that a herbal energy drink? Yeah, that's Gusto. Gusto energy drink. It's ginseng based mostly. Right, yeah, and the font is completely gives me a headache, so I'm not even gonna try to read that. Well, I might try at the distance. It's kind of lemon juice based with botanicals, and yeah, what are the botanicals? It's a lot of ginseng. Oh my god. The botanicals are listed in an even less readable font. Oh. Right. But I know there's ginseng in there. Like really small white letters on black. Yeah. But yeah, it's a great drink. When you feel good and when it's hot. It's like the next best go-to, like cola. Except you don't get like huge amounts of caffeine and you don't get like a sugar shock. Your teeth don't get glazed. Or like get etched from it and all that. So it's just a great drink. Right, so like energy drinks. Yeah, I don't like energy drinks. Like the regular typical one that tastes like that gummy ball taste. I used to drink that for a period, but I mean now I just can't stand the smell of that. It's so gross. And like everybody out there drinks it. And it's so cheap. It's just disgusting. So if I'm going to drink some kind of energy drink related thing, it's going to be this. It's so great because it's not too sweet. It's like this little bit of sweet, but not too sweet. And that's really important. It's kind of tough to find the right balance for yourself like that. And they got it just right. So yeah, I feel pretty good, man. I had a really good day yesterday. First off, Steamy Traveler figured out he actually made a PayPal account. It worked out and everything. So I got a PayPal from him, and we had a huge conversation. So that was great. Over Skype, by the way. We talk a lot over Skype. But also, like, yeah, my GTI thing, I'm not entirely sure what's next, but I mean, the situation that I thought was like really broken for a long time, it's fixed. And it was kind of silly because I could have probably fixed that from the start. It's just that I got so flustered and frustrated the previous times that I gave up. Now I just took it really calm, but I did persist. And it turned out not to be difficult at all. Like, wait, what? Just that? I think I was frustrated over another factor. But, like, it's practically fixed, so it's gonna take a while, and then I could potentially... I don't know how long it's gonna take, though. I mean, it could be like a year, maybe even more. But I could potentially be on the verge of, like, escaping poverty and in a more permanent fashion compared to last time that happened. 15 years ago. No, wait. 18 years ago. So, yeah, last time I got confronted with the GTI, I had that moral collapse because it was broken. I'm like, ah, and it fucked up everything. I mean, fucked up my show, my mood, and on the show with FED. But now it's like I got that same boost, except now I just know it's fixed. Now there's like hope, and it's like almost inevitable. Right? It's not some, oh, one day. No, now it's like, it's going to be there. I mean, unless like just something super dramatic happens or something, and but yeah, I mean, if everything just keeps going the way it does, poverty days are literally numbered. And I can't wait for that. I can't wait to stop begging for money, although you guys have all been, all this time, and even the guys way back, been very gracious in supporting me. And without that support, I will never forget, no matter how much money I might have in the near future, or in the not too distant future. Let's just keep it to the not too distant future. I will never forget how all you guys actually helped me to survive and keep doing this. And though I've been on the verge of like collapsing and getting really demoralized and actually like trying to find some other job or whatever, that still has been avoided. Although narrowly sometimes. Just because of circumstances, not because you guys wanted to be asses or you just wanted to let me choke or whatever, but because everybody has financial troubles. The world has been financially attacked. Like, dramatically. I mean, just look at the frickin' prices here in the Netherlands and more countries in Europe. It's like, oh, it's kind of doubled in just a few years. And that's fucked up, man. Yeah, because salaries have not. It's really messed up. So, I get it, but there's a good chance I'm gonna pull through. Unfortunately, though, so don't get too enthusiastic too soon, I'm still going to be needing some support. Right. Nice one, dude. Yeah, I know, Oz. It's really great news. And I mean, there's things I can do now. I can actually start, instead of playing video games over and over, and yeah, I have to admit that is part of what I have been doing. It's like listening to something and playing video games. Well, now I can actually like play video games with stuff that can literally turn into money. It's like gambling, except you have instead of having like 10% chance of winning, you got like 99% chance of winning. That's like, there's an off chance that it might go wrong, but not really. I mean, this is not a gambling system, GTI. It just keeps growing, and the more you throw in it, the more it grows. It doesn't just switch around. Sometimes the worst problem that it seems to happen is that it gets disconnected. Like that because it keeps going and then it like it doesn't connect to other stuff out there anymore. So it becomes isolated. And this is like a layman's sloppy description. So Jaren's probably, he's probably not listening, but if he would be like, oh, what a noob. That's not how you say that, Arwin. Yeah, I know. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm just roughly describing it from my understanding perspective, which is very primitive. I am not a star at financial things. Never have been. And a lack of money drives me insane. Punishes me dearly. Right? But this is not a lack of money situation. This is not a dangerous gamble. This is a thing that just keeps going and going. Is it crypto? Yeah. Kinda. The point is, I've been part of this system since 2015. Right? So this thing is going for 8 years. And like every step of the way, I've been like caretaking it, because it is like it's like a cow, and I just had to raise it from calf. Oh yeah, this is, although it's all digital and you don't actually get any milk out of it, right? But it does feel like some kind of weird digital farming, except instead of wasting your time and getting points, you actually eventually get money out of it. It's pretty freaky. And it feels weird and etc. And I'm like, oh, but you're not really producing anything. I get it. Yeah, what I do, I don't know if it's probably not super good for the world, but it will give me an opportunity to literally break this barrier of poverty. And that is really it, right? Because then I can actually start doing things. Right? And like get off the welfare. That is... I've just had to do it, and it's like in the Constitution, and it is very Dutch to... Like, Dutch do really feel like that level of socialism is justified. We just don't want foreigners to suddenly come in here, don't learn the language, and then just sit here taking that, right? That's kind of like where a lot of people that are slightly more right-wing will draw the line. That's messed up. We don't want that. But yeah, nobody wants to see people just living on the streets, not because they kind of want to or because they're really weird, like actual bums are just really weird. They just don't want to. They just want to do that. Right? Because they do bums get welfare. You have bum welfare. It's less, but it's like enough so you can get some eat and a place to sleep, etc. And I don't know. It is a thing in the Netherlands. Right? And we don't collect bums here, but it's just the Dutch take care of each other. And they don't think that's ridiculous or that it's like socialism, the end is nigh. No. It's just common decency and just logic. Right? If you don't do it, criminality. A lot of it. Like, it will happen. Well, if you are poor and you get some to get by, yeah, you can go crazy and get on the drugs with it and basically fuck your life up. Or you could at least just get by and not become like a career criminal just to get your money or something. Right? We call it socialist. Right. So, I want to do something back because I've been living on this for 10 years. And I want to do something back. Right? I don't want to live on this forever just because it's my constitutional right as a Dutch citizen. As a Dutch-born citizen. people who are not disabled should have to work. Yeah. I'm doing that. I'm doing it right now. Yeah? YouTube, daily show. That's right. Yeah? It's a lot of hours in there. It's a profession. I'm doing my best to do this. I provide a service to a lot of people. Right? And sometimes I get a bonus because of that, and that really helps me out. Right? Because welfare is not enough in the way things have been happening in the world. And I mean, I can't imagine like the people that are on welfare out there that are like dumber, and they are there definitely, and they really don't know what to do, man. Like they don't know. They couldn't get into GTI stuff. Well, they might with like a lot of help or something, but it takes such a long time for it to become something. Right? I want to, yeah. I'm getting out of this, and then I won't be dependent anymore, and then I will potentially be able to just do things, improve my wardrobe, for fuck's sake, man. I mean, I've literally like, I've walked into bumps that had better clothing, because less worn clothing. But I'm not actually complaining about it. It's like I'm complaining about it, but I'm also kind of bragging about it, because I also still see like younger people out there that are obviously not poor, that walk around with like, oh, I have holes in my pants. Like, oh, it's really worn. No. Look at those frickin' pants, yeah? Your pants are pretentious wannabes. Like, you never wore those pants long enough to make those holes, yeah? Check out my pants. That's actually what happens if you get yourself to wear it long enough, but you don't. Real work. Oh, yeah, like banning trolls. Fuckwit. Yeah. Yeah, this is real work. Doing things with media, providing for a unique, relatively niche group, which is intellectual people, like not free-thinking intellectual, not super studied, like people. I'm not a person that reads a lot of books. I'm a more auditory, spoken person that listens to things, and you can hear that. For example, Fox Day is a guy that is very much like a reader, and you can tell by how he talks. He's a much more refined organization oversight over the information that he's all read. Then he's super fluid and entertaining and energized in his communication, which is something that I excel in. Right? So yeah, I have a skill. I have developed it. It is a profession. And I've provided a service to a very niche group of intellectual, free-thinking people that are flat earthers also, and even those that oppose that to a degree. And there's nobody else that can do that, and there's nobody else crazy enough to take a time slot like this. And so, yeah, I filled that gap, right? Like somebody would fill the gap of being a delivery man for packages. Yeah, that's what I do. It is definitely a job. It is a task, a slot that's filled, and that's what I have done every day. Yeah, for a very long time. 8 years. Well, 7 years technically. I mean, it's 2016, but long. So you can stop gaslighting now. How this is all useless? It isn't. It isn't useless. It requires skill. It requires a lot of room. Yeah. The thing is, you see, if I had this regular working man job schedule thing all the time, well, then you wouldn't be able to fill this slot. Huh? Yeah. You wouldn't be able to. You could only fill this slot as a professional media. But if you're like typical professional media with a lot of income out there, you're going to be shilling. It's going to be shit. It's going to be shit media, like so much other professional media out there like that. That is all sponsored by mega corporations and programming. Yeah, then it'll just suck. I mean, there's plenty of radio stations or YouTube shows around this time out there, if you really dig, that just suck. Right? They're out there. Try to find one that's actually free, that can actually just talk about whatever they want. And they really do talk about whatever they want. No limits. In conventional directions, unexpected turns, all the time. Yeah. Because they can do it. Because they're not stuck in some regular corporate working job life. And they don't have to censor themselves, or their bosses will get pissed off at them and throw them out of their jobs, right? Fire them. Yeah. I don't have those issues, huh? Yeah. So excuse me if I don't get some corporate job out there. Yeah. But it's just these trolls. They just want me to stop. So they try to shame me to go into a direction that will make it stop. Because all they want is to make it stop. And it's not going to stop. It's not going to stop. It's going to keep going and going. And at some point my poverty is going to be over. And guess what? So yeah. Things are going to happen. Huh? I mean, I might even get to the point where I will... Nah, I'm not even going to say anything. I literally am not going to say anything. Because there will probably be grabblers out there that hate me enough to actually set traps for me if I start announcing this already. I need to just do it and not talk about it. And with grabblers, I don't necessarily mean Jews. I just mean people that are bastards. I don't think, like, I don't know any Jews that, like, are outspoken against me. I think they probably like me for my stance on Christianity. Some. I don't know. Like to see some trolls talk to an audience for 2+ hours. Yeah, Oz. But I mean, without getting repetitive and boring? Right. Yes. And here's the crazy thing, Oz. I didn't start out super entertaining. Right? With the Flat Earth Early Bird show. I mean, just look at like the first 7 shows or something. It's boring as shit. And like, I mean, it's actually boring compared to what my show is not like now. So I had to actually make it entertaining. I used it like, okay, you're going to be sitting in this time slot every day for the rest of your life, potentially. I wouldn't exclude it at that point. I'm still not excluding it. I mean, if I'm gonna get by financially, then I'm not gonna exclude that I would do that. Or try. Or because I could just keep going then. Nothing would stop me from doing it. I mean, I don't have to then all of a sudden, oh, but I have to get this job so I can't do it anymore. Yeah, that's not gonna happen anymore then. Right? But I had to build it all up to be more entertaining, to figure out what people are my audience, and what people just can't handle me, and what people can I handle to be my audience, like even if they like me. Because there's people out there that have been like, oh, Arwen, you're freaking cool, and then they come over and they make a ruckus and it just annoys me, and then I piss them off and suddenly they hate me, and I'm like, get the fuck out of here. Like, I like overall stable people. Because I am myself, I'm already kind of all over the place thanks to my sensitivity through my empathy. But I had to just make it work. Almost like you're in a prison, even though it's good. It's like a prison under God. And you're going to be in that 2 hours every day. And you are going to keep going, whether you're going to be making a fool of yourself or whether you're going to be brilliant. You just got to keep going. So it's like deprioritize finding the special moments even, and prioritizing that it keeps flowing, and that your energy management on the long run keeps alive. So it's almost like what I talk about on the show becomes secondary to the subconscious mind on the other side's management of your energy, and on the oversight of who's following me. Like, who are these guys in my chat? Richard G, Oz, Skeptic 936. Like, who are they? Like, I have a micro profile of every one of you, even though I've never seen your faces. All based on everything that you've kind of done, and like what your composure is in certain mood rivers, like when the tide turns, when the big tide, the big pendulum swing of the entire world, and everybody's going like this, then what are you like when everything goes like that? And what are you like when everything goes like that, right? I keep track of that. I keep track of people's stability, even if they don't keep track of it themselves. So I know what you're like, and I know what I can expect of you in unexpected situations. Do we chat participants really exist? Yes. Or maybe you don't exist, classical homeopath. Is that a confession? Right, anyway, welcome, Skeptic 936, the classical homeopath. Welcome to the stream. I'm in a really good mood today. I had trouble sleeping yesterday. You know why? Because of enthusiasm. I couldn't stop. I was just like, I'm free. I'm just like, I can do that and can do that. And oh, if I'd go to a vacation, what would I do? Like, oh my God, I thought thoughts yesterday that I haven't thought in like 10 years. It's been such a long time. Yeah. Right, but I'm not there yet. Could still like take a year. I still need to survive just to get food. Prices have gone up dramatically. Remember my rent like went up €100, like 20% over 2 years. Totally disastrous. And it's not going down. So food went up. But I mean, I don't want to like, oh, I really need it. No. It's like I'm getting by, and trusting God's a big part of it. And sometimes like, oh well, today I'm just gonna eat a little less then. You know, I'll just do fasting. It's like, there's never a loss. Every loss is a win too. You just have to see it. And if you live like that, then like you can handle anything. As long as you keep yourself together. Right? But I really would appreciate more support. So anybody out there capable of doing that, that would be really great. Yeah, but on the long run, things are looking very bright for me right now. Hey, Amanda Jung, good to see you. It's just super cool that I managed to get it done. Oh. I mean, I don't even know exactly where it stands right now. Like the thing in GTI, I did such a huge investment in there. Like, I don't even know like what will come rolling out of it now. Could be pretty massive. But then I'm talking about crypto stuff, but it's all still an internal. I mean, you can't just like, oh, I'll take the standard crypto they use, they produce, and just trade it in money. No. You can't like trade it with Bitcoin directly. But there's all these things that have been done, and like there's so many developments, it's driving me nuts. It's like a computer game, and it's like it gets so expensive, and it's like I don't even know what the fuck is going on. It's the reason why I didn't get into crypto. It's all so freaking elaborate and complicated, and it's like a computer game. It's crazy, and you don't know what's really happening. You don't know why, but that's just how it works. But I mean, yeah, they're like building a new bridge, basically, because that's what they do at GTI. They got the machine running, it works, you just can't cash anything until they get bridges, right? They bridge to something that can literally be traded into money. And they've literally engaged with a new bridge. And so that could mean that, well, by this time next summer, I suddenly have like a pretty fast income all of a sudden. Like way more than I would get from welfare. It could be. I don't know yet. But I'm so excited about it I could barely sleep this night. Right, but I shouldn't like get all obsessed over that because I'm currently still poor. What a day, what a day. This crazy window breaking. Like, and the window is as big as this window over here. And it wasn't double glass or anything, it was already broken. And it like shattered into like a million bits all over the floor. In this heat, while we were used to walking barefoot. Oh, goody. So me and my roommate had to clean that all up. At least the landlord is going to have it fixed. So that is cool. Because we had been like staring at a broken window for like a year. So it's kind of nice that it's finally getting fixed. Hopefully there will be a better setup that won't be as breakable. Anyway. So, yeah, yesterday's flat earth debate, let's just talk about that for a bit. I went on, and it was fine. It was okay. Like, nobody, like, snapped at me. I got a bit playing around without anybody, like, poking at me or anything. So that seemed pretty cool. Nathan got a bit weird. Like, Nathan went full fantasy land. He went like a Baldwin thing, but with his weird Narnia conception of accelerating or moving down or something. Free floaty, he called it. It's so weird. But I got really confused as he kept talking about that. I don't know if anybody heard that. That was weird, man. But interesting, but I really didn't get it. Like, I couldn't picture it in my head what he was trying to say. It's like, what? Right. After show lasted very long, by the way. Like, till past 6. If I remember correctly, there was a baller on also. Was that the other day? Oh, no. You got it to AMC, right? Oh. Didn't hop out AMC. Okay, Oz. I don't know about that. Look, this crypto doesn't work like that. You see? Did you know that, like, the default token they had went down to 0.0004 cents? It was like one of the lowest possible value you could have for a crypto token in the world. But since then, they've gone up 100 times. Okay? Or more. But it was like insanely low because it was like just getting screwed. But it's not like that. It's not like, oh, it only matters how much the chips are valuable in relation to the other tokens out there. It doesn't work like that. I mean, there is a value thing. The point is that there is kind of endless amounts of it. Like, quite literally. I mean, at this point, there's GT Plus, as it's called, tokens. There's probably like 1 million billion of those by now. There's probably so many, it's off the charts. So it's not about, ooh, they're valuable because of their rarity or something like Bitcoin. It doesn't matter. It's not about that. It's weirder. It's not just like stock market trade but digital. It's not like that anymore with this stuff. It's like this weird robot that's in a digital world and it's doing all this stuff and I have no freaking idea. It's like an AI bot that's just like high frequency trading with itself and I don't even know what the fuck is going on. But it works and it's secure. It's like they really made it like hack proof. And I mean really made it hack proof. That's where the majority of it went into. Because GTI, the entire company, was like attacked by lawyers. It's like $100 billion worth of lawyers they got trying to sue them, trying to make them stop. And that happened, well, like 7 years ago. And it completely fucked them up. And they had to get into this crypto thing because of that. Because before that, you could literally just withdraw money. It's like, oh, I want $80. Bang, $80 on my back. Just like that. Using like a sort of high frequency trading in the Forex market system. And it's legal. It was all legal. It was right there. It's like a banker trick. How bankers got rich back then. Really, that's how they all do it, through the Forex market, high frequency trading. And they just made it into a public utility. Just become a member, and then you can just do it. Well, normally you could only do it if you know how and you're super rich and connected. And they just provided that for a public option like that. You could just, any citizen could just become part of that with a minor investment and then permanently do that. And so bankers from all over the world like sent all their lawyers to make them stop, to make them bust, to prevent them from being able to hook up to a bank so you could cash in. To basically make it impossible for the GTI and GTI customers to withdraw money. That literally happened. Okay? And though they never got GTI shut down, it didn't work. They have been like permanently disabled. Like the bankers got to all the banks, like all the freaking banks in the world, until like GTI just can't cash it in. And now they've bypassed that through a crypto system. So there is literally money in there, like acquired. Originally, at least. I mean, the high frequency trading thing bots are still going, I think. It's just not even directly connected anymore because there's probably like Saudi Arabian levels of money in that. It's so much, it's crazy. The point is not about how much it is. The point is that it's not getting cashed in because all the banks are blocking that system. And I mean, all the banks. So GTI practically has, billions, hundreds of billions of dollars or whatever it is, potential money, and it just can't do anything with it. But it's using this crypto system on top of it all, and that is the thing that we're dealing with, to basically, through the crypto market, get the money out instead of direct banking. And it's working. Yeah? And I've been part of this whole thing, kind of as a passive customer for 8 years. And now, it's a crazy story, isn't it? Crazy story. Yeah? And there were times where GTI literally wouldn't even allow you to talk about it on YouTube and other platforms. You would get, like, you could have your account like deleted even if you did that, or they just force you to take it down. It's like they didn't want anybody to talk about it because of all those lawyers, because of $100 billion worth of lawyers, like basically getting into everything. Think about like how media, social media platforms censor certain type of subjects of the current thing and all that, right? Well, those lawyers went around on like the entire internet doing that specifically with GTI. Like, they would get on your ass for talking about it. Like, if somebody would just talk about GTI on YouTube and like talk about the procedures of how they do it and all that, like, GTI would get like huge fines from that, which they can't pay because they couldn't cash the GTI stuff in. Yeah? It was a Grabler stranglehold, basically. Crazy stuff. Grabble stranglehold. Like GTI, like they tried to grabble strangle it with like all the banks in the world. And they didn't succeed. It's still there. Right? But it's not connected to any bank. Because if it would, then just everybody could just suddenly, they're giving our money away to Ukraine or something, right? It's like, oh yeah, you're giving away our tax dollars. Well, if GTI literally got greenlit by a bank, it would be like, think of like $100 billion suddenly being created out of nothing, like in the time of a day. And it would be completely spread out, decentralized, right? It's not trickle down money. It's like literally everybody gets to pocket it themselves out of nothing, That's what would happen if the banks would suddenly allow GTI to just cash in. So, it's fascinating. Yeah, and by the way, I am not a professional official representative. I didn't have the presentation training. Yeah, GTI actually provides presentation training courses. I've been to one of that. Weird. Very robotic in ways. It's weird, man. It's like a robot. GTI is really very robotic, even like the way their website looks and the robot voices in the videos. It's like a robot. It's robot themed. Futuristic robot. Like a sci-fi movie of the future. With your holographic screens and such. Except it doesn't have holographic screens, but all the style of that. So yeah, that could all be happening. It's weird, man. The way I feel, when I started to feel yesterday like this, it's like you're suddenly taking a breath with a pair of lungs you forgot you had. Because there was nothing to breathe for such a long time. It's kind of how it feels. It's like I've even forgot you could breathe like that. Like suddenly like, wait, what? An actual release? I thought it was gone forever. That's how it feels right now. So yeah, I am quite confident about the situation. But again, it is gonna take a while. It's not like, yes, I got it in a week. No. I'm not gonna have like stacks of cheddar in a week time. You know, that's not gonna happen. Whew. Anyway, hope you guys are doing okay. Yeah, and by the way, depending also on what my financial situation will be when this all really happens, I do actually plan to, well, help sponsor some flat earth activities out there. Right? I took your money from flat earthers. I need to do something back. So, but yeah, don't come begging for money though, please. Like as in, yeah, probably, yeah, most of you won't do that. Anyway, hello, is anybody gonna say anything? Joel, just leave. 6 minutes of silence. I want to talk about something else. Let me know. Anything particular? Hello. Where did everybody go? Oh, okay, logical conclusion, welcome. So yeah, dude, guys, bring it up, man. I'll talk about it. Bring it up. I mean, I cannot even imagine something that could now shatter my day. I mean, we had a freaking broken window that I had to clean up. Like, and that was very early. That was before I even took my supplements for the day. Before I even drank water. And I'm still feeling elated. It's, the word elated is correct, right? Let me check it out. Elated. Ecstatically happy. Yeah, exactly. How much money did my father put into the crypto for you and him? Originally 750 euros in 2015. Sort of, I think. I basically got my account for free. I had to do stuff. But back then it was really easy. You could literally just generate cash in that stuff. And then without cashing it in, you could just like transfer it to buy somebody else an account. Like within the system. That's how we got my account. But I mean, everything was completely different back then. It wasn't even crypto based. But yeah, I got this thing technically for free. Not a huge amount, but you could come. Dude, Borders Boy, I was already cashing that thing years ago. Like in 2016, altogether, I think we cashed about like. No, wait. 2016 to 18 divided over the place. I think just from my account I cashed about like probably 400 to 800 euros from it. And that was in the very, very, very early stages when it was still kind of small. When it was about getting it maximized. Now it's just a complete different thing that's much bigger, really. I mean, I just don't want to like really start to name numbers. That's cool. Yeah, it was very cool until suddenly the bank lawsuit happened. It's like, oh my god, Arwin is getting money out of it? Quickly send in all the grabblers in the world to make them stop. Boycott them with all banks. That's what it felt like. Because I was like, yeah, man, I'm finally getting around. And then, like, no, you can't cash it anymore. And you can't talk about it on YouTube either. Like, what? Oh. Well, that sucks. And it's been kind of like that for years now. But then, pretty much halfway last year, that kind of changed. And suddenly things started to really activate. Things were fixed because they had a lot of problem because of the transitional systems. Like, because it's just, yeah, because of all the new crypto stuff that's now involved. And oh my god, I'm not even going to talk about it. But they had issues to iron out, and it seems like this year it's really like finally working properly, and they're connecting up soon to a cash-in point. Like, people are already doing it. Except, I think that right now you still need you actually need to put in money in a third party to be able to start doing that. And yeah, I don't have excess amounts of money to just do that like that. So... anyway, I'm working on it. Right. And by the way, eventually, when I basically prove my success and show you guys, like, yeah, see, it's working. Look at the cash, man. Right? When I start bragging or whatever, then I will also open up for, hey, you want to be part of this? You want a part of this? I'll hook you up. I'll hook you up. I can do it. Like, once I can finally prove, like, yeah, see, this really works. And then there will be no more, like, it might sound like a scam. Right? Because that's really what stopped everybody. I've talked about GTI before, like, hey, you could hook you up. I got Rasta Hat almost to become part of it, but then he skipped out. Other few guys, they all skipped out. Nobody got zero got out of it. But yeah, maybe once literally start throwing around cash and shit in front of the camera, then maybe eventually people will actually like say like, oh yeah, maybe we want to try that out. We'll see. Don't know if any of you are even remotely interested, but let me know. And do it over Skype, please. Right. So I'm sure you all tuned in so that you could hear Arwin talking about crypto and money and shit. Because that's what you expect when you tune into the Early Bird show, right? No, I'm being sarcastic. You probably didn't. But yeah, it's what's going on. But I can definitely talk about something else. But you guys are gonna have to like bring it to the table. Otherwise, I will just keep on rambling on about money and how I might get it one day. I guarantee you. So, bring something to the table, people. What does GTI mean? It means global technology and innovation. And yes, they have globe themes. The background picture does very much look like the news with a globe spinning in there. It very much does look like that. So, have I ever watched Westworld? Yeah. I did not really like it. I mean, it's well made and all that, but I don't really like it. Making money off the globe. I don't think that they're not cosmogonical. Yeah, there's no connection to SpaceX. There's no NASA news bulletin in there. It's just that's what they aim for. It would have been pretty freaking hilarious if they'd used like a flat Earth model or something instead. That would be pretty. I mean, you could just do that. You know? As a designer, you could just tell your designer, you could just do that. It's like, oh, it's just some flashy news show background, right? But instead of a globe, use this model thing. Use that in your CGI. And figure it out. And then it's suddenly like, and then like flashy, and it's like, oh look, it's not a globe, it's like a flat Earth thing. Like, it would look like a flat Earth clock with the sun and the moon, probably. It's kind of the sun and the moon app thing, basically, from David Weiss. But, yeah. Why not, like, graft that into, like, a CGI spectacle, like, in a news bulletin? Why not? Would be pretty hilarious. Anyway, GTI. It's been a long time. It's been a rough ride. It's been poverty, but I mean, poverty does also, you know, separate the chaff from the wheat, and the people that just want to exploit and pump pump and dump, it does split those from the people that are actually willing to like sit in a community situation. And it has. There were a lot of scammy people that tried to burrow their way into GTI. During that lawyer phase, we had infiltrators, people that would make accounts and then try to break the system, even hack it. Really messed up. And there were like people that bought themselves in, like with a lot of money, and then used all their stuff to like counter rig the market. And like there was so much sabotage happening around CGI back then, about GTI back then. It's crazy. But I think that they fixed it all. Why am I playing with my greens? I don't know why. Oof. Oh man, this wind still, it gets really... The air gets stuffy. Right. But I hope, despite all this talk, you guys are still willing to help me out. And dude, I don't know, maybe I could even like... Nah, I'll get to that when I'll get to that. Just keep supporting me, please. I am not rich yet. Weird. I have Michael Jackson's song in my head all day. Beat It. Melodically, it's such a good song. Like, such amazing harmony. So simple, so powerful, unexpected. Like, when the melodies start combining, it's like really beautiful. And you only start hearing that when it all really combines up. Great song. Anyway, man, I am out of it. I don't feel like my normal self. Am I more hyperactive than usual? Yes. Okay. Well, I feel great though. And more upbeat for sure. Yeah. Well, you know, it's the difference between like, yeah, man, I'll hold out. I got grit. I'm going to do this. I trust in God, and it's a good thing. I mean, trusting in God is a good thing. I mean, that really does help you through. Right? With the long-term prospect, like, yeah, if I just don't care, like, oh, I step out of it, or I just, like, disregard my duties, yeah, then suddenly potential cascade of poverty and even death because of stress or something, right? That I just, like, fuck it up so badly, lose a whole bunch of shit, and then just really lose it. Or, like, suddenly like punch somebody in the face and then they break their face and they sue me and I go to jail. Like, total cascade was like always like it could really go out of hand. in the background. But like, yeah, I trust in God and I really love you guys. I like doing what I do and I'm very honest. And that's really what kind of kept me up. That's what's been in the background for quite a while, guys. Pretty much during the entire early bird run. And it really amped up in, well, 2 years ago. Like when the financial shit started to shine through, that's like it's gonna get punishing. That really made it all much more tight and much more desperate, right? I had to trust God more. I had to be more honest, be more direct, just to be able to survive. But now that outlook is suddenly like, oh yeah, well, literally, the world could go into complete chaos. And things could go bust. And I'll be freaking fine. I mean, I won't like seeing other people suffer and things break down. But I will be fine. That's the difference. And I will potentially be able to, like, say, like, okay, fuck it, I'm out of here. And, like, at that point, spend, I don't know, 10,000 euros or more to literally move myself and all my stuff to another country, just like that, right? That's something that I could in the future do. Something I can absolutely not even get close to doing right now, right? That's the difference. It's like suddenly, now everything in the future is possible. Now it feels like suddenly the next 20 years could be me really freaking busy doing all kinds of things, traveling all over the world, meeting people, even meeting some of you guys. I could go to the United States at some point for a visit. All those things. I could go to Flat Earth conferences. Be a Nathan Oakley representative. I'm just joking, guys, but I mean, a lot of them out there will see me as such. And I don't mind, because I represent the arguments, which are true arguments, and they are lasting. They are durable. And whether people call them Nathan Oakley or quantum eraser arguments, that's their issue. Like, I use the arguments that work. Hey, Terra306, what's the talk? Bro. What stuff? All a person really... Yeah, Borders Boy, that's all really cool and everything. I got stuff. I got a storage full of stuff. Because it doesn't fit in here. I don't even really have the opportunity to clean it out. Because there's stuff in there that I probably should throw away. I just can't get to it. I don't have the room to even start unpacking it and then sort what I should keep and what I shouldn't. It's like, yeah, I got stuff everywhere. I got a mineral collection. Okay. I got a couch, a really awesome leather couch that kind of fits my chair here in the storage. Dude, I got something so crazy and stupid, I'm really kind of sorry I ever did that, although now it might be interesting because I might be able to utilize it again. But I got a glass-stained window from my old house that I had made. I designed it. I designed it. A glass and lead person made it. And I got a steel-forged gate in Jugendsteel. A Jugendsteel-styled iron gate, which is like the craziest freaking thing I've ever made, or I've ever had made. It was really stupid in retrospect, but it's a beautiful thing. It's just insane because it's fucking heavy as shit and a nightmare to transport. I wish I could just sell it to somebody. I mean, but how? Who the hell is gonna buy that thing? It's literally the size of a door, and it's massively heavy. You gotta like bolt that thing into the wall because it's so freaking heavy. If it isn't, yeah, just sell it all. Oh, yes, just do it. Just sell it. Just, yeah, no. A lot of it simply no, because I still want to use it. Yeah, and then there's the other half. I don't even know how to do that. Like, I guess I could. The point is that I can't get to it. I can't get to it. I can get to the storage as soon as I actually got a room outside of the storage that I could use to put my stuff in and then sort it all out. And then sell whatever, throw away the little things that I couldn't get to. But just sell your stuff in there on eBay or something. Or Marktplaats here. I don't even know how to do it. I don't know. Shouldn't say that. It's up to you. Yeah, well, you're not the only one saying that. Even my dad's been saying that. But it's just not doable. It really isn't. I mean, I can barely get to it. It's all stacked up and shit. I can't even make proper photographs. Yeah, you realize I don't have a mobile phone like that. I can't just make a photograph and then just send it there and there. No. I have a mobile phone, but you can telephone calls with somebody and you can send text messages. And that's it. Well, I think you can make photographs with it, but it's really shitty quality, and I don't know even how to transfer that to my computer or something. Although I probably could. No, all the photographs I currently have from my mobile on my computer were from my previous phone. I don't think I've ever even tried it with this one. It was just a really cheap device. Just cheap. And that it would work. That's all I want. I just wanted it to work and to have the basic function. I don't want internet and all the other stuff on my mobile. I just don't want it. When I go out and I look around. I don't go about and stare in my freaking little black screen. I hate that. So much loss. So much loss by living like that. Anyway. So yeah. Get to it. In the meantime, anybody that could support me would be great. Would be really helpful. Hey, See Me Traveler, good to see you. Bird is taking a bath. So cute. Come on. Can you guys see that? There's something just so funny and joyful about watching a bird taking a bath in a bowl of water. There's just something really fun about it. They like each other? What? And they get out all fluffy and soaking. It's so hilarious to look at. Right. Yesterday I was talking about leaving the FED. Did I talk about leaving the FED? No, I said that there's political camps in there, and that if that keeps getting worse and like Nathan doesn't stop it somehow, then I'd leave, because the show would be ruined. Okay. Tarot. When I say I'm a representative of FED, it's not, it was kind of a joke. It was referencing, because I would use their arguments, that people would just say that I'm a FED representative. Anyway. I'm addressing something that you said 8 minutes ago, so... Oh man. Look at those bats. I want to show you the dazzle. It's doing so great. See the new one? Look at how it's... how green, how incredibly green it is. See? Look, that's that little one, the little basil plant from before. Look at how well it's grown. Looks great. And like so much of it, like even the plants in between, they're still good. They haven't died. It's excellent. Look at all the extra leaves sprouting from in between the armpits. So great. Like these are going to be great. Let me give that some water. Yeah, it's doing well, isn't it? And I haven't even gotten the that biofuels. What is that? Damn it! How do you call that? The nitrogen stuff. I haven't even gotten that yet. So here's the, yeah, this one, well, it's blooming, and you can see it's not really greening up. So this one is just like transitioning into a blossom phase, but I mean, it is literally blooming. Can you see? Look at those huge blossom stalks. This thing is freaking huge. I mean, look. It's as long as half my arm. But it's still holding in there, but it looks like it's not really going to become any greener. It's like middle-aged, and it's working on the blossom and shit. I still have to relieve some old deadish leaves every now and then. The old potted oregano plant is really crushing it. Oh, look at this thing. It's beautiful. Smells great. Look at all this. This is still blossoming. I mean, that's weeks. Weeks. Blossoms a long time. And all these little shoots and they're like really bursting. Very few purple leaves. The other plant has much more purple leaves. I wonder what it is. Maybe it's because this one has like the ceramic pot as a protection. It could be that the other one is getting so many purples because the roots are sitting against the plastic, which heats up too much. I think it might be because of that. That the roots just can't get overheated, that it just like really is a big detriment to the plant. I think that's what it is. So I'm also probably gonna get more larger pots like that, which would also be very helpful because of the wind, because it would have more weight to stick to the ground and not fall over all the damn time. Make pesto sauce with basil leaves. Sure, steaming trout. Yeah, well, you could do that, but I was actually planning to just use it on spaghetti, right? So you basically take most of the plant, cut it up, and just like put it on the tomatoes, freshly squeezed tomatoes. Hand squeeze, I squeeze it by hand, like, and then you put in all that basil pretty much on top of it. It's like the best taste combination you could ever have. Oh my god. Jackdaws are bickering again. They get very territorial over that water sometimes. Ripped basil leaves and yeah, fresh tomatoes, everything organic. It's even more awesome when you actually have grown the tomatoes yourself. I mean, there's nothing better than that. Your own grown organic tomatoes with your own grown fresh basil leaves. Oh my god. Use that for like spaghetti. It's unmatched, especially like how I make it. I mean, I'm still holding strong. I make the most awesome spaghetti sauce in the world. I've never met anybody that liked spaghetti, that tasted my spaghetti sauce, that said, I know a spaghetti sauce that's better than this. Not a single person, and that includes like Italians. Although Italians make spaghetti sauce very differently. They really do that concentrated sauce, but they will still very much approve of the taste of my spaghetti sauce. Hungry for spaghetti? I haven't had spaghetti in months. I love a good sauce. Yeah, me too. And I make it vegan, okay? I make my spaghetti sauce vegan. You don't need it. Or, well, vegan. And the sauce itself would be vegan, and then you can basically add sprinkled cheese to it. Like Parmigiana. Right? All the like Parmesan type dry cheese. You can put it if you're not a vegan. But the sauce itself is like completely vegan. I used to make it with beef loaf in there, but now I'm just like, no, screw that. Why do that? Like it's like less tasty than when I use carrots as a bottom, like literally replace the beef with just carrots, like in that stage early on, bake it up and just do it with carrots. Works great. I mean, it really works great. And then also add aubergine at the end, together with the courgette. It's fantastic. It's fantastic. So just replace the beef with carrot and aubergine, and you got like the best vegan spaghetti sauce you could imagine. And I mean, really. I mean, Eric Dubé would even be jealous of my spaghetti sauce if he would taste it. I promise you he will. Because mine is the best. I mean, I would, like, not as an ego thing, I would genuinely be shocked if I would ever live throughout the rest of my life and then find a spaghetti sauce that honestly tastes better than mine. I would be really shocked. Because I've tasted some pretty decent spaghetti sauces that were made by people in their kitchen and all that, and none of them even got close to mine. Like, not even close. Not even like at 50% of that. And that includes sauces made in people's, like, where they grew all the ingredients themselves. I don't know why. It's just the way that how I make the spaghetti sauce. Hand squeeze the tomatoes. It's a really big thing. And it is like a magical energy thing. And maybe that's why people just think like, ooh, why would you do that? Well, because if you hand squeeze the tomatoes in the sauce, it does something. It just does something very different from when you cut it up and put it in there. It just does. Maybe it's my hands, maybe it's because of my magnetization, which I will automatically be using as I'm squeezing the tomatoes. Because guess what I do when I magnetize, right? To extract pain, I squeeze my hand. I tense the muscles. The tensing of the muscles, which will be my entire underarm, will extract the energy and make me feel the pain, whatever is there. Well, if I squeeze the tomatoes, that automatically happens. Now, I don't feel pain from the tomatoes, thank God, because they don't have any nerve endings to do that. But it makes it taste really freaking good. Make me want to eat the carrot aubergine sauce. It is genuinely amazing. Right, so I'll describe how I do it. You start out with virgin olive oil, no denaturized, so that you can still smell it. Garlic, freshly squeezed. Onions, freshly cut. I like the purple ones especially, but you can also use just regular yellow, white ones. But I like to color it up. I like the more colory vegetables, I like them. It's like this multicolor fest, it's great. Then also carrots, then you got the bottom. Oh yeah, and call it again. Bouillon. So a vegetarian type bouillon. It's a vegetable based bouillon without yeast extract. It just has to be the right type. I just use a very specific type, and that's the one that works. If you take other ones just because you need bouillon, well, then it won't work. It has to be the right stuff. If you can't get the right bouillon, then just add salt and some herbs. But I definitely liked it with bouillon better. So that's what you started out with. You start baking it up, the olive oil, right? So onions, garlic, bouillon, carrot in olive oil. Bake it all up. In the meantime, you have to cut all the other stuff. You have to cook water to boil the skin of the tomatoes first, right? And make sure that you then, before it all slowly cools down, when it's still kind of hot, like put cold water from the tap over it, and that makes the skin release and burst, so it relatively gets easy to get off. If you don't do that, you have to like really peel the tomato skin off, and that's like a fuckload of work, because you're going to be using like a kilogram of tomatoes. Okay, a lot of freaking tomatoes. If I have to buy this amount of tomatoes in the store, that would now cost me like 10 euros. 10 euros worth of tomatoes. Organic though. Very worth it, but man, it's an investment because everything's become so fucked up expensive. So you do that. Then you start baking it up, right? The first layer with the garlic and everything, and the onions and the carrot. Then you start throwing in the tomatoes. You squeeze it in. So it's immediately going to add a lot of juice into it, which you will need because, I mean, carrots and onions don't have a lot of juice. It's going to be the olive oil doing it before that point. So you're going to juice it up because of the tomatoes. A lot of tomato juice you squeeze into it. Just from the living tomatoes, not from any package. Nothing added outside of the tomatoes, the fresh tomatoes. So the skin goes off with the hot water. You squeeze it in. Then you quickly cut the basil and put it in there too, and you let that like bubble for a bit. Not too hot, but yeah, otherwise don't put it too low, it'll take forever. And then you cut the zucchini and the aubergine. Did I miss anything? Oh yeah, don't forget, yeah, a laurel leaf. You have to add a laurel leaf with the initial, right? With the garlic, onion, carrot. You also have to put in a laurel leaf and of course oregano. I would just take dried oregano to put fresh in that early baking stage. Is kind of a waste of that. You might add some fresh oregano leaves like at the end stage, but not at the beginning. Just use the dried stuff, right? To spice it up with oregano and laurel, onion, garlic, carrot, olive oil, and bouillon. So that's what you start with. Then you add the squeezed tomatoes, basil, and then in the last stage you add courgette, zucchini in English, courgette in Dutch, very different word, and aubergine, and then you let it bubble. I mean, it's really like, let it slow bubble. So it's like this big pot which is bubbling. It looks like a witch's brew, and it smells incredible. That stuff smells incredible when you made it like that. And just let it bubble for a bit. Maybe just let it cool off. I mean, if you're just gonna let it sit in a pot for like a day and not eat it, if you can manage to prevent yourself from eating from it, then the next day it's gonna taste even better. Yeah, the next day tastes better. But you're probably just gonna want to chow down the fresh stuff like after you cooked it. Probably. Right? So yeah, and then you add spaghetti, you cook it. You can just take spaghetti or like the tortellini type thing. You can do whatever type of spaghetti. I like spelt. I take spelt based spaghetti, or like the twirly things. And then you added some Parmesan cheese, maybe on the side if you like that, or if you're vegan, you don't take that. And then you got a fully vegan spaghetti meal. And like when I make it, yeah, it's kind of an investment. It'll probably cost like 30 euros altogether to make that. But then I get food, like pretty nutritious food for 4 days at least. 4 pretty big meals. And then the last meal, it's gonna kind of like lose half the nutritional value though. But it'll still be great. You might be a little sick of it because you already ate it 3 days in a row. You could also like freeze in half and just unfreeze it and make spaghetti later. You could also do, I'm not a freezing guy. I when I make stuff, I eat it until it's gone. I don't put things in little boxes in the freezer and then 5 years later figure out, oh yeah, I had the spaghetti sauce and it's like completely creepy and the water has all separated out from the rest, which is like a freeze-dried little freaky cube or something. Like, no, I'm not a freezy person. I don't freeze old meals, but you can definitely do that with the vegan spaghetti sauce. Right, so that's how I do that. Now it actually sounded a lot easier than it is to make it all, because when I make it, it takes me like at least a full hour of labor. Right, and if you like got any cuts under your nails or something, it's a complete nightmare to do. If you got any cuts under your nails, squeezing the tomato becomes a complete nightmare. It like can get you infections and shit. Where you basically squeeze the tomato juice like into the wound further. It's a nightmare. Don't. If you got any lesions or something on your fingers, don't even try this shit. Lesions. What is a lesion? Cut. What? I'm not sure. What is it? Leisure. Leisure. What is a leisure? Wait. Did I get the word? It's a wound. What? Oh yeah, legions. That's the right. Abnormal tissue. Lesion may benign. Oh wait, no, that's not a lesion. Yeah, well, if you have lesions on your finger, that would suck. No, it's just a cut. Lesion is like a protrusion. Lesion sauce. Yeah, that's fucking gross. No, I thought a lesion, but a lesion, yeah, it's not a cut. I thought it was a general word for cut or something, or a wound, but it's like a protrusion. It's like something that's grown there. So that's, dude, that's like a wart on your finger or whatever. So I'm not going there. I don't have any, but sometimes you get like a little cut or something in your, or like a paper cut. Well, that's really sucks when you squeeze tomatoes, especially if it's like under your nail. Very painful. Lesion is a what? Is a sore. Like a bruise? I didn't say that. Oh, I get it. For a dermatologist, a lesion is basically any kind of anomaly. Like a lump, bump, ulcer, sore, or colored area of the skin. So it's basically any kind of anomaly. Well, if you have any kind of anomaly on your fingers, it doesn't really matter. It's really about the cuts. If you have any like cuts, paper cuts or whatever, or you're under your nails, sometimes that happens. Especially when you dig into dirt with your bare hands. Herpes? Ew. Dude. I don't think people have herpes on their fingers. That's fucked up. right? But that's what I specifically meant. If you have like cuts under your nails or paper cuts and you do this tomato squeezing, it's a nightmare. It can be very painful. That's what I talked about, because I have had that where I'm like, I gotta make the tomato, and then I find out, ow, 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 ow. But it's like, yeah, I have to finish it, but it fucking hurts. So be careful with that. Right, by the way, with the tomato types, you can use different types of tomatoes for this type of vegan spaghetti sauce. You can use the typical, I don't know what they're called in English, just the regular typical shaped tomatoes. You can use Roma tomatoes, which are more like the ovals. But my favorite are like the flesh tomatoes, those really wide ones. They're usually less juicy, but they're very fleshy. Those tomatoes are the absolute best for spaghetti sauce. You know which one I mean? The ones that can get really big? Those are the best for that type of spaghetti sauce. But the other ones work fine too. So there you go. That's like the recipe for the best spaghetti sauce ever. Did I miss anything? Oh, that's it. Alright, so it's just olive oil, bouillon, onion, garlic, oregano, laurel, carrot, tomato, basil, zucchini, eggplant, spaghetti, and potentially Parmesan cheese. Yeah, that's it, I think. I think I got the complete list, so it's like 13 total ingredients. Didn't miss anything, right? No. Yeah. Need to grow basil plants first. Yeah. But yeah, Borders Boy, for my sauce, fresh basil is absolutely critical. There was a time where I didn't even know you could just do that, and I would get the potted dried basil. It's like not even a quarter as good. You got to have the fresh basil. The super sauce doesn't work without fresh basil and fresh tomatoes. Fact. Canned tomatoes, not gonna do it. Dried basil, not gonna do it. You have to have them fresh. It won't work without it. It won't be as good. Like, not even close. Capers? What's caper? What is a caper? For fuck's sake. No! Oh, it's like a pea thing. Ew. I don't like those. Look. The sauce that I just mentioned, that I make, yeah, sure, you could choose to throw anything in it. Like, you could put chickpeas in it, or capers, or anchovies, or I don't know, man. I don't know what people want in their spaghetti sauce. Yeah, you could add whatever. But for me, I don't think it would taste as good as just the way I just basically laid it down. Because everything that I described, like, the taste works together absolutely perfectly. It's a perfect combination. If you throw other stuff in between there, I don't know what it would do, but I can imagine it would probably ruin it. It would ruin the perfection of the taste combination, in my opinion. Right. But I mean, if you really like capers in your spaghetti sauce, Steamy Travel, it seems like an Italian custom to do that. Well, yeah, sure, you'd throw it in there. Why not? But I personally don't do that. I don't think it's necessary. Whoa! Damn it, time has flown. Okay, I'm gonna name this show. Okay, I just renamed the show. Or I named it GTI Comeback and the best spaghetti sauce ever. Arwen gets saucy. That's... You know, don't you see that would sound kind of gay? No. No. But thanks for trying though. I'm gonna round out. So thanks everyone for coming. I hope you like this show. You might be hungry by now. I'm a little hungry, but then again, I'm fine. It's still very hot. I'm not that hungry when it's hot. And I did have an Illuminati croissant before the show, by the way. So, I'm good for now. Right, but if you like this show, then please don't forget to Rogan's it up. And if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel and subscribe to my channel and hit the bell notification so you know when I'm going live, which is normally 1 p.m. Amsterdam time in the weekdays and 2 p.m. Amsterdam time in the weekend. And please also do support me through the PayPal and the Patreon. That would be much appreciated, and I can still really use it and need it for the time being. So I'm still very dependent on getting around. Although the long-term situation financially seems to have really turned around big time, I'm not there yet. I still need the support, so please keep me running. I literally still need it for food. I can have all the promises in the world, I could still starve. So please help me out, if you can. And thank you, Steamy Traveler, for actually doing that yesterday. Really appreciate it. And glad to have you on board with the PayPal. Really am. Right, so I'll be back tomorrow with Flat Earth Early Bird number 1631 on a Wednesday, and I'm going to join the Flat Earth debates over at Nathan Oakley 9080 channel, which is probably already started up. Hope to see you there in the chat, and until the next video, keep it flat.